Hello folks, welcome back to Hist Factory, where you ride through history while being entertained. Aren't wars always brutal? Can't we just ban this? Exactly our thoughts. Imagine this. One day you wake up to the sound of the TV shouting everything is about to go down, and you're like, what? Yup, the fact is that every country on Earth is against one another. So, what are you gonna do? Are you going to choose the easy way out, or gonna jump into your fallout shelter? 'Cause you know what's gonna happen next. First of all, you're gonna have three scenarios. The first one is a nuclear war. Well, that's an obvious one. Nuclear weapons are extremely destructive weapons capable of leveling whole cities and, in the event of a full-fledged nuclear exchange, bringing the end of human civilization. Imagine all of these giants coming up with their biggest nukes. Although precise numbers are classified, it is believed that there are around 19,000 nuclear weapons, 95% of which are Russian and American, and the UK has approximately 200. Each of these weapons has the potential to cause enormous harm on its own. It is believed that if the world's nuclear arsenal was utilized evenly in its major cities, the worldwide arsenal would be enough to kill 3 billion people, with 1,500 nukes remaining. They have the combined force of up to 15 Krakatoa-style volcanic eruptions. As a matter of fact, their explosive force varies greatly. The strategic thermonuclear weapons of the superpowers pack a punch comparable to several million tons of TNT. And keep in mind that 1 million tons of TNT are a megaton. Hefty, huh? While India and Pakistan have tested weapons that are roughly 100 times less powerful, however, even if every warhead had a megaton rating, the energy unleashed by their simultaneous detonation would not be enough to destroy the Earth. However, it would create a crater about 10 kilometers broad and 2 kilometers deep. The massive amount of material thrown into the atmosphere would have far-reaching consequences. This aerosol of particles would restrict the amount of heat reaching the Earth's surface from the sun, resulting in a nuclear winter with severe environmental consequences. The nuclear explosion would also cause a surge of electromagnetic radiation that would destroy everything, from national power networks to microchips all around the planet. You see, it's sometimes best not to worry about how many nukes are out there. So, in short, if we are going with nuclear war, then it's goodbye for the human race then. Well, if we look into the second scenario, where countries are smart enough not to use nukes and agree not to use them, alright, let's get into the scene, shall we? Let's start with the United States itself. Just because Canada is unable to defend itself, the United States takes over North America. North Korea launches nukes, wreaking havoc over the entire South Korea. And while this happens, you may argue that North Korea does not have functioning nukes, but guess what? These guys have some that really work. They just can't get it far enough, and South Korea is directly beneath them. Meanwhile, our largely populated country, China, is wise and has gone on the defense. Japan will wait it out. South America is now in shambles, obviously. Small countries in Southeast Asia are at odds. Nothing exists in Africa. The United States invaded Russia via Alaska. Russia goes on the defense in the east. Europe is a battle zone with 50 fronts. Europe's only survivors are the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. All of the other countries have vanished. China dominates Southeast Asia. China launches an invasion of North Korea. Japan lacks the force to invade, but has a large enough fleet to defend itself, allowing it to hold its own. And because the bulk of Russia is rural, the United States effectively invades it. Germany wins the war, but France loses. Because the United Kingdom is sheltered by the English Channel, it does nothing. Russia is invaded by China. Russia is doomed. The United States and China demolished Russia's lines. China then strikes the United States. The United States retaliates. Russia is preparing for defense because it knows it will be unable to strike the United States or China due to its big force and superior technology. India is still alive and well. India protects its eastern border against China while expanding westward. And finally, both China and the United States have reached a dead end. Russia is ready to defend itself. With China and the United States at odds, they agree to disagree and cease assaulting each other. The United States continues to attack Russia. Russia fights back effectively, but not effectively enough. The United States continues to expand until the point that it can no longer do so due to Russia's vast geographical mass. As a result, the United States bombards Moscow with fighters and bombers until Russia surrenders. Russia would be compelled to respond, but it would be pointless. The United States would finally triumph. China strikes the United States when its forces are stretched thin. The United States regroups and plans a counterattack. The United States lost the fight in the West. It flees to Alaska because of a lack of troops. To pay for the equipment, the remaining nation's taxes will skyrocket. And oops, we almost forgot to note that Mexico also surrendered to the United States. Germany is preparing an attack on Britain, bombs the coasts first, then prepares naval fleets to invade. The United States extends into South America, blasting every country until they surrender, since they don't fight. Germany finally invaded the United Kingdom. After fierce combat, Germany captures the British coast. This is due to Germany having more military equipment and soldiers to use that equipment. Germany finally conquered the whole country of Britain. Didn't expect that, right? And while all of this is happening, you guys should keep in mind that the United States of America is divided into two regions, North America and South America. China possesses Asia and Germany possesses Europe. China attacks Japanese naval fleets with fighters and submarines. After sinking enough ships, China launches a naval attack on Japan. China successfully captures the coastline. After capturing the islands, China could easily take over the rest of Japan. The United States, Germany, and China would most likely just sign a treaty to end the battle. Many soldiers and military equipment would be destroyed at this time, wasting trillions of dollars. China does not have the budget to send its army to Europe, and neither does the United States. And yeah, that's the end of Scenario 2. Now, basically, Scenario 2 would be the one in which the countries will have to forcefully take over the countries. So, you might be waiting for Scenario 3, right? Scenario 3 is that these countries find out that the military costs will be too high for war, and many don't fight at all with their current economic situation. Wait, did I lose hope? Sorry about that. Yes, it is unlikely to happen these days, but don't worry, if you guys wish for some action, we could give you some. Why not take some rebellious factions, huh? You see, this was mentioned in 1913 and 1938, but increasingly, it is not just governments that go to war, but organizations such as ISIS, Taliban, and others. These people are not nations. They do not own property, they occupy it, which means that the majority of the residents are simply innocent civilians. As a result, traditional warfare with bombs and tanks would kill more people than fighters. A faction frequently holds opinions that differ from those of others. Fighting beliefs is quite difficult. In medieval times, the direction you faced determined which side you were on. You would get uniforms that indicated your group. We're back to individual fights, where you can't recognize the opponent from a local. Battles are fought in towns and cities rather than on the battlefield. If you destroy a structure that you believe contains enemy combatants, you may discover that it was designated as a hospital or orphanage. Worst of all, you can't win. Once you defeated enough enemy forces, the monarch of the opposing kingdom would submit and the battle would be ended. Now, the leader refuses to surrender, and even if he is murdered, someone else will take his place. Even if one side is annihilated, another might stand up and carry on the fight. Anyways, as we come to the end of today's episode, please accept my apologies. There are no wars. Unless you manage to uncover a training site, you have no possibility of using any of these nuclear weapons or weapons that destroy a huge region. There are rock-piercing missiles capable of killing individuals in caverns, but none capable of killing warriors in towns. As a result, bye-bye World War. Anyways, what do you guys think? Quite dark, ain't it? We have come to the end of this ride. If you have liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Find more such entertaining yet informative videos at Hist Factory. See you all in the next one, guys!